Welcome.
So,
How's it going?
going good. Or should we start kids fundraising cookie dough or me tripping on acid?
I think the acid sounds more
Okay,
fun to me.
sick. Let's see here. Psychedelic drugs are fucking very interesting because they alter the way information's being received into your consciousness, like extremely, depending on how much you do.
Yeah.
So you see, for instance, this was an acid. Was this acid? Might have been mushrooms. I think it was acid. All right, so boom.
Probably.
I eat the acid. I think it was 2 hits, and I forgot my laptop because I wanted to make beats on acid, right?
Yeah.
So my laptop was 25 minutes away, or no, it was 20 minutes away, and I had already taken the acid. I was like, fuck, I could probably beat the high if I leave now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have enough time to get the laptop, get back to my homie's spot
before you start tripping.
before it kicks.
Yeah.
Before it kicks in.
Yeah.
So I go to get the laptop, and then I go into my car and I start driving, and maybe 3 minutes into driving, the road starts turning into water.
Oh my God. 3 minutes?
Yeah, like 3 to 4 minutes. So I got like a solid 11 minutes of driving left.
Oh boy.
And the radio's playing like the Bill Cosby rape trial.
That's super cool to listen to.
And they were talking about how he was playing up being an old guy and being blind, like walking in with a cane and stuff to help his case with the rape.
Yeah.
They're like, but this is just an old guy. Like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they were talking about how he was angling for that and the road's turning into water. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like,
moment of realization.
So I just continue listening to it and then just kind of just keep an extreme focus on the lines on each side, because it's like you just stay within these lines, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, keep the odometer or the speedometer at the right number, lines. Right number, lines. So I was like, okay. And
focus.
I did it. It was fine.
Good shit.
Yeah. And then we went to go see The Revenant. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's about this guy's revenge story. He, in the early 1900s in Montana, he was somebody that hunted and sold fur pelts, town to town in the United States, like Montana, early 1900s, late 1800s.
Yeah.
And basically, he was not really getting along with somebody, like one of the higher ups in the tribe or whatever you want to call them. They were just a group of people that went and hunted and got pelts and then sold the pelts from town to town.
Yeah, business people.
Yeah, and they're fighting, Indians and bears and like real life shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're really in the fucking woods.
Yeah.
Like,
and the wild.
Yeah, they're in the wild as fuck.
Damn.
And basically, this guy didn't want him. No. One of the leaders of the fucking group, he gets mauled by a bear, right?
Sick.
And this crazy bear attack, and so they're in the fucking winter in Montana, and they're hauling this guy through the mountains on like a fucking kind of like a stretcher, and one of the guys gets so fucking tired and fed up with it that Indians come this one night, and there was like a hole dug for something, and there's Indians coming and they were all running, and then the dude that like was mauled by the bear was like help me, I
think I've seen that. I
Did
literally
you?
think I've seen
It's
this
Leonardo
movie.
DiCaprio.
Yes, I have seen it.
You've seen it?
I have
Okay,
seen
sick.
it. I'm like, this is so familiar.
Yeah. So basically, they're being chased out of the fucking mountains, and the dude just fucking drags his body into a hole and just throws him in the fucking hole.
Yeah.
And his orphan child runs after the guy to kill him, his like orphan, like Indian child, this Leo's character, and the dude kills his child in front of him while he's like incapable of even using his body because he was mauled by a bear.
Yeah, he can't move.
Yeah, and then the whole story is just a revenge story of him catching up, like rebuilding his body and like finding this guy and murdering him.
Yeah.
And I was on acid as fuck. Like, and the shit,
Damn.
like some of the intense close-up shots of Leo with like the fucking snow in his beard and like blood and cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there were like patterns, geometric patterns forming on his face, and like his face was like kind of liquid. And the shit was just so fucking intense.
That's crazy. I can't imagine watching that on fucking acid. Are you lying, bro? It was an intense movie. It was a good movie.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie. And eventually he goes and he kills the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being like, "Oh, this is very gruesome and
it was
yucky."
It was crazy. Yeah, he goes into the carcass of a deer for warmth.
Yeah.
He empties out like a deer carcass.
I hated that shit. That was fucking gross. That was gross.
What do you feel about psychedelic drugs?
I don't think I trust myself if I were to ever do acid. I've thought about doing shrooms. But I don't know. I hear a lot of times people have life-changing experiences, or like they'll perspective on life or things will change. And I don't know, a lot of people have had spiritual experiences too, like just crazy shit happen. But I don't know, it's scary to me just because I'm pretty fucked up as it is.
You don't want none of that shit to manifest.
Exactly.
Like, while you're tripping.
Exactly.
You don't have full control of what your consciousness and what your brain's like doing or gonna do.
Yeah.
It's kind of frightening and scary. And I've had trips. I've done mushrooms 25 times.
Damn, that's crazy.
And there's been dark points of trips. Like when you're fully tripping on psychedelic drugs, the earth around you is altering, colors are different. I would, like, one time I ate mushrooms on an empty stomach, which you never should do. Nobody do that.
Never do that.
You need some food in your stomach when you eat that shit, because
Yeah.
it's like fucked up tasting. And your stomach's just like, ugh, like what the fuck is this bullshit?
Turn it
doesn't
away.
like it.
Doesn't like it.
But one trip I ate mushrooms, and at the fucking peak of the shit, where like you feel like the extreme intense feelings, and everything is just more vibrant, and everything is, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a conscious altering drug. So you go back into consciousness at the end of the trip feeling like, what is mind? What is consciousness? If I just eat this fucking chemical and all of a sudden my whole world is different, then what even is it that we're doing? And is it all an illusion? That we're just being fed this information the way our brain filters it, but really it's not necessarily how it actually is. Mm-hmm. It's just how our brain is filtering it.
Yeah.
And what is actually real.
Yeah.
It does that type of shit to you.
Yeah.
And so basically I was at the peak of the trip though, and fucking my stomach was just churning from the mushrooms, and I was like fucking lean on a tree and just start fucking like throwing up. And I'm like dry heaving and throwing up, and I'm peaking on fucking mushrooms on top of a mountain, right?
That sucks.
Yeah. And you'll get moments like that, and it can kind of get dark, but it's just a fucking ride, just like life. You go up, and the fucking climax and the peak is just fucking insane. And then you go down, and then down, and there might be like some dark spots and dark points of the trip. And then you go up, and then the climax is like fucking insane, or like what's happening is insane to you. And then the waves just get smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's kind of like that.
That's so crazy, because I mean, these are like psychedelic drugs, but if you think about other drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, whatever, like that can be the same exact shit, which basically it is, especially like if you're taking it for depression. That's the whole point, to switch your brain into seeing shit differently. Like, instead of this gray, sad place you don't want to be, it does something. Because I guess when you're depressed, you're lacking the neurotransmitters that send dopamine and serotonin to your brain, the happy chemicals. So medications literally give you more neurotransmitters to give you more serotonin and dopamine to your brain. So it literally like changes.
I guess all drugs are conscious altering, kind of.
But also, I think our brains can chemically change on their own. Like when we do get legitimately depressed, that is a chemical change. That's why doctors claim you can get medications for it. But when it happens naturally, I feel like that's something you should deal with naturally, unless it's how we talked about previously, how I feel depression is diagnosed weirdly, and that not everyone who goes through something hard and gets depressed should be put on medication. So, because when you are in that place of just despair and just rock bottom, your brain is chemically different than it would be your normal self. And trauma does that too. If you have PTSD, your brain is chemically different.
Damn, how the fuck do they work that out?
It's
adding neurotransmitters. How do you go about compressing a chemical that alters the mind to be able to receive more chemical? It just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. How do you do that?
Yeah, and the fact that they have millions for specific things, like so many different things, it's how do you know that this is where it's gonna go and this is how it's gonna affect this specific part? It's
how it affects everybody the same, because nothing affects everybody the same.
Yeah, because again, all of our brains are chemically different.
Yeah, very different. Yeah, extremely different.
Yeah.
So
boys and girls, depressed, not depressed, PTSD, not psychopath, not.
The environment you were raised in.
Yeah.
Can alter all that. So I guess it all is consciousness altering, just because you're changing the chemistry of your mind, changing the way human experience happens.
Yeah. And then alcohol hits the front lobe of the front cortex of your brain, which is the rationality part. So it makes you do shit that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah. You just stop giving a fuck.
Yeah.
About how people might feel about what you're about to do.
Yeah, exactly. So it's weird. I had a conversation with my mom how she was comparing alcohol and weed, and she's like, they're the same to me. I'm like, I understand why you feel that way, but like scientifically, historically, like it, that's just not true.
Oh yeah, on every level.
On every level, it's
very
not
different
true.
things. Very different things.
She's like, to me, they're the same because they're mind altering. But obviously, when you dive into it, there's so much more, and they're not even a little bit the same.
Adderall is mind altering.
Yeah. Yeah. There
So
you go.
are you going to categorize your Adderalls with alcohol and weed?
I did bring that up. Amphetamines. Like, that's literally meth. Are you kidding?
Yes. Exactly.
But
it's theirs.
Yeah.
Type,
yeah. But I couldn't tell you. And I'm like, okay, if weed, maybe I shouldn't get into it, but like the Mormon thing, how Mormons, members of the church, feel about alcohol and weed, the law, the word of wisdom doesn't say anything about weed. And the prophets have said it's not against the word of wisdom, like modern day prophets. But alcohol is never okay. So tell me how. That's the same.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. My feeling is everything just in moderation. I can eat some fucking Adderalls, which is meth,
Yeah.
a few times a year, and it's really not gonna.
Nothing will happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt me
Yeah.
long term or short term, really.
But someone who actually has ADHD is gonna have a way different experience because they will literally be calm and go to sleep. Same with people who do Xanax. If you're not depressed, you'll probably have a trip, but if you are, you'll probably fall asleep. Because our brains are chemically different when we're depressed, when we have ADHD, all sorts of shit.
Yeah. Well, I did Adderalls. I couldn't sleep when I did Adderalls for fun.
You couldn't sleep.
Nah, fuck
Yeah.
no. But I definitely have ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm constantly like moving my foot,
Yeah.
and I'll be sitting at the table and stuff, and the table's just like fucking shaking.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, "Yo, Ulysses, stop fucking doing that with your foot."
I mean, the first time I took Adderall, I took it too late in the day, and I couldn't sleep that night either because it was a high dose, and I
What
took
was
it
the
too late.
milligrams?
Like 25.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it would probably, I don't know, it could work for you. Who knows? Who fucking knows? I don't really medicate my ADHD. I don't take Adderall that much.
Mm. Yeah, when I did it, I felt like a fucking superhuman. It was incredible. Did you feel that?
No, I
Like
felt nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt like I was just, it was like a steroid, like a performance enhancer kind of. Everything the teachers were saying were just extremely interesting to me. And I was just taking in every single fucking word. I was breaking all my workout records.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I was just.
Yeah, I know people who get really focused and it helps them a lot like that.
It was doing that for me, but I couldn't fucking sleep at night.
Yeah. I felt, I don't know why, I felt a lot more aware, a lot more myself, but I don't know if I hadn't ate enough, and I'm also small, but I was just really shaky and nervous. Also, that does happen though. My mom says it happens to her where her heart will race really fast if you're on Adderall and you haven't ate. So I think that was the issue.
I remember that feeling too. I mean, it's just amphetamines.
Yeah.
You know, you're on amphetamines.
Yeah.
So you might feel overwhelmed by a heightened heart rate to the point where you need to put food in your stomach because you're on amphetamines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody's going to feel that sort of to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah. Then other than that, I just felt aware.
Aware? Like more of an expanded.
Yeah, just like more myself. Like I wasn't so dumb, airhead, wandering off into space. Like I was actually present in the moment. But yeah, I need to eat more when I take it, and that's honestly why I don't take it, because I don't eat enough right now.
Yeah, and also it puts your consciousness in a like rapid thought, kind of the same type of, it's a stimulant. It does the same thing kind of coffee does. It's just rapid thinking, wanting to stay productive, like just constantly just hitting shit, getting like, you know what I mean? That's
another thing I did. I drank coffee when I was on Adderall. You shouldn't do that.
I've done that too, yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh, it's so fucking gnarly. I was like, literally beads of sweat going down the palm of your fucking hands. You're just like fucking like trying not to fucking visibly shake. So you could still be socially acceptable.
Yeah. That shit's not good.
Nah. Mixing stimulants is fucking gnarly.
Yeah, that's something else.
But I'm trying to move away from kind of a stimulant consciousness and more of a thoughtless. Like, I don't want to go through life constantly talking to myself in my head.
Interesting.
I want to be able to, you know, handle everything one by one and not stress about the second thing on the list or the third thing on the list or the fourth thing on the list.
Makes sense.
Just, what are we doing? Okay, that. And then that's my whole focus and nothing else exists. And I can kind of go through from point by point without even talking to myself in my head.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the opposite of what stimulants do.
Yeah.
Stimulant consciousness is like rapid fire thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, constantly, yeah, being on overdrive and like pushing your RPMs.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're getting that extra push, but where's that push coming from? It's coming from what this chemical's doing to you. And it's not like coming from the natural, how do I say it? It's not like coming from the animal kingdom, or like you're not drawing this force from like the natural world. It's just, but you're going to overdrive your shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's fucking weird thought.
Yeah.
And then all the shit they prescribe us, and we don't even know how it could be affecting us, or what other things could be affecting our chemical imbalances, like food. They don't teach us that. They just teach us to take pills. I mean, you know, PE in elementary and junior high, whatever, but your doctors don't encourage you to, I don't know, maybe yours do, but nowadays I feel like they don't encourage you to go to the gym, eat healthy. They just write you prescriptions for your high blood pressure and heart problems, when really what you need to do is drink less soda and eat less fries.
Yeah, go on long walks.
Yeah.
Maybe spend some time in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's twisted, and that kind of makes me think about birth control being prescribed for acne, and like these hormone altering drugs being prescribed to extremely young children. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that on YouTube. I don't think it's a guideline, but like this type of shit is like,
Yeah. Tricky.
When you start really kind of going against the pharmaceutical companies, or just I don't know. It's they're so big pharma's embedded in just everything.
I have paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they can fucking kiss my ass. I will talk as much shit as I want.
You got a paying customer here. It's like we could have open thought and open discussion.
Have to buy your drugs, but fuck you for that very reason. I'm a forever customer.
Yeah, there you go. But
that sucks. Yeah, like, birth control in itself is crazy. That shit has fucked me up in so many ways you can't even believe.
Yeah, no, one of my ex-girlfriends, she would take it, the alterations in the way that she felt, and the mood swings, and it's a very strange thing, especially because it happens for acne. That how do you prescribe a 14-year-old girl this shit that's gonna alter their hormonal balance, or the way their hormones are naturally in their body, for something like bumps on their face?
Acne. When in reality, a lot of times your diet can just make a huge difference with acne. I know a lot of times it's genetic and stuff, but sleep, diet, water, and no dairy makes a huge difference.
Never would be talked about. You're not going to go to the fucking...
Exactly.
What's their label? The skin doctor? Demo... Do you know what the skin doctor?
Like demotherapy?
No. I forget the label, but the skin doctor has a specific name.
Oh, dermatologist.
Dermatologist. Thank you. The dermatologist isn't going to fucking tell you to up your vitamin A and be in the sun, drink more water.
Yeah.
Mine didn't.
Exactly. No, they'll write you a whole ass prescription that's going to...
Steroid cream. Steroid cream, steroid cream, steroid cream. Okay, none of the steroid creams are working. Here, eat these fucking pills. Okay, 15 years later, if you were prescribed Accutane within this year and this year, and you felt, and you developed early onset arthritis, please call this number. No, they got me on one of those.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
literally
go ahead.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you. Yeah, that sucks. I wash my face with fucking water and a towel, and I mean, I would say my skin is clear. I'm not gonna like talk shit about myself when I'm not a pick me. Like, my skin is pretty much always clear. I'll get an occasional zit, but like if anything, I get them on my back and shit, so I suffer there. But like it goes away when I eat good and I get sleep. Here's the thing. People believe adults only need like 6 to 9 hours of sleep. I believe as adults we still need full 8 hours. I do not function the same unless I get a full 8 hours of sleep. I've been doing a lot of research on how important sleep is too, and looking at dream interpretation and stuff like that. But I feel like it's so important, and literally when I sleep more, it clears up and goes away.
Yeah. I have these nights where I just can't sleep the whole night. Last night was one of them. I just laid there and just laid there for maybe 2 hours, intervals of getting high. Maybe I can fucking sedate myself enough to just fall asleep.
Yeah.
Exercise that day even.
Damn.
And just laid there and couldn't sleep the whole night. I didn't sleep last night.
Damn.
0 hours. And
I could never. I'd be dead by this hour.
Really?
Yeah. And then I have to sleep for like 15 hours after that.
I did one intense 30-minute. I probably went an hour of meditation. I don't know how long it was actually. I did one 15-minute guided meditation. You breathe in, I am not the body. You breathe out, I am not the mind. I am not the body. I am not the mind. And then you just keep doing that till your brainwave frequency alters into like closer to the dream frequency.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then you chant, and then your brainwave frequency is up pretty much all the way into the dream frequency. And then you just sit there, and then in silence, and then the guy starts singing while you sit in silence.
Oh wow.
And I did that 2 times in a row, and then just sat in it the second time for I don't know how long, probably like an hour.
Yeah.
And then that was basically all my sleep that I got was that meditation.
Damn. That sucks.
Fucked up.
I wonder why that is. I used to not be able to sleep. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you fix that.
You know why it's better?
Huh.
You don't know why it's better?
No.
No?
Like, I don't know. I've been to 2 sleep studies, and they told me I had sleep apnea and restless leg syndrome, and I kick in my sleep, most definitely because of my trauma. That's devastating. But they said I was running a fucking marathon in my sleep. Like I ran like a mile in my sleep. and then I stopped breathing in my sleep. But I don't know, like I just kind of after a while started sleeping again. Oh, I stopped taking naps. That helped a lot. But I know people that don't take naps and still can't sleep.
Yeah, I didn't take no naps and stuff.
Yeah.
But cutting back on caffeine would help for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't drink any caffeine.
I do.
That might be it. I hate energy drinks, and I don't drink coffee, and the only soda I really like is root beer.
That's good. I mean, I'm definitely addicted to caffeine.
Oh boy.
That's my
there
vice,
you go.
probably.
That's probably it.
Yeah, I mean, I've drank caffeine pretty much every day since I was 19.
Damn.
Pretty much every day. 19, 20, caffeine pretty much every day. I'm fucking
Yeah.
28.
My dad is going like 20 years on a caffeine addiction. I don't know about that. I don't know, maybe. My mom too, because like, especially my mom, because in Mexico and whatnot, they drink it all day, every day. Since she was a child, she hooked on that shit. So that's tough. I don't know what that's like.
How do you feel about addiction? You think that shit is more environment than genetic? Where do you lie in nature versus nurture on fucking addiction?
Great question.
Tough, right?
That is hard, yeah. 'Cause probably, and they kind of overlap too, because your environment is also can be your friends and your school. And if that was shitty, that's also part of nurturing because you weren't cared for as a friend and whatnot.
Yeah, just falling into the wrong friend groups of people. Everyone's fucking vaping e-cigarettes or whatever, and then you start doing it. And that's not genetic at all. That's completely environment.
I think it's more environment than genetic, I would say. But
I would agree.
Yeah, I think the biggest for addiction and why we do think so much that it's genetic is because it's really just generational trauma. Like, oh, my dad was an alcoholic and his grandfather and then his father and whatever. And when really they all just abused each other the same way. So they all coped it the same way because they never broke that chain of generational trauma.
Yeah, hurt people.
Exactly. And I'm fucking addicted to nicotine. Bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's...
It sucks so bad.
Nicotine is fucking... That one for some reason...
Just stay away. Stay away, dude. Stay away.
I had phases in high school where I would get drunk and just fucking smoke cigarettes. And then it became a point. But I always get to the point with addiction, even when I've been prescribed like painkillers and shit, where I start to know, like, yo, you actually are going to start to need this if you keep taking this.
Yeah.
And I stop.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's so smart. Self-aware. We love self-aware.
Right.
My, fuck. What was I going to say?
Talk about how bad your nicotine addiction was. I don't know.
Yeah. I was off of it for a second, and then I just I remember. And I just kind of started up again, I don't know, like a year ago maybe. I don't know why the fuck. Like, why? For what? I don't know. But worst decision of my life. And when I was in the mental hospital, one of the psychiatrists told me that cigarettes and nicotine is like the hardest shit to get off. Like, they know people who got off meth, heroin, whatever, but they are like, oh, my cigarettes? Fuck no. Those are mine. Like, you're not taking those from me. That shit is something else.
It is. My uncle, we call him Uncle Tommy, but he's just, somebody's, my brother's father's best friend, but he's Uncle Tommy.
Gotcha, yeah.
He is extremely addicted to both alcohol and tobacco. Extremely.
That's a horrible combo.
But he said if the grid shuts down and he can't access alcohol or tobacco, it's going to be the tobacco that fucks him up bad to where he's rummaging through people's sheds and shit.
Fucking fiending, let me hit your shit, bro.
And he's a full-blown alcoholic, and he was like, the tobacco is the shit that I'm scared about.
Yeah. That's really relatable.
Really?
Because I would rather have my nicotine than my pen if it came down to it.
Yeah.
Because if I get high, I'll have to let it pass for so long and eventually be bored. But with nicotine, I can hit that whenever and feel it whenever. I sound druggy as fuck right now.
Nicotine's just fucking quick dopamine hits. It's like,
that's what it is.
boom,
yeah.
You take the hit, you get that chemical jolt. It goes away pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
And then you just boom, just keep getting the fucking, hitting the button.
Yeah.
With weed, it's so much less addictive and it lasts longer. And yeah, I don't know. It's just tobacco's it's a monster.
Yeah. That does suck. I know people who chew.
Yeah.
Like, for what?
Yeah, I mean, I did chew like maybe 8 times or something like that. This is one of my cowboy friends. He grew up with a dad that did it, and he viewed it as like cool.
Oh, yeah.
He thought that shit was like, that it was sick.
It is sick, but in a different way.
Yeah. But I did it with him a few times.
How was it?
The tobacco high that you get from that shit is fucking insane.
Really?
It's like 25 minutes.
Really?
Like that quick jolt that you get with the fucking pen,
Yeah.
That for 25 minutes straight.
Damn.
Because the fucking, there's fiberglass in it that cuts your lip open. And the nicotine goes straight into your bloodstream.
Oh my God. That's sick.
That's tight. It's like, fuck yeah.
That's dope.
Mainlining this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I love getting really, really buzzed off nicotine, but I have to go over half a day without it, which isn't long, but for me, it's long. So
cigarette breaks.
Yeah. Yeah, I take a lot of cigarette breaks. But so yeah, if I go longer than 8 hours without doing it, then I'll get a nice buzz and it'll feel very good. But it lasts like less than a minute, literally.
Fuck. I remember when I was doing carts. I would get drunk with my friends in Seattle, and we'd be like every weekend, I would be hitting the fucking nicotine stick, but I would stop Monday through Friday.
Oh.
Because I would just do it off my friend's shit.
Yeah.
And I would never actually go buy the fucking little
funny.
USB stick.
That's smart. Don't.
To not have it in my space.
Yeah.
But even then, it bled into my life later. I moved in with a girlfriend and like by Hollywood in LA. That something happened. Like I got it in at a fucking studio with like this guy that worked with Tupac and these fucking these people that were like influenced me hugely and were just legendary to me. I'm like working with somebody that knew them closely and like helped them like make their shit, and I'm getting knowledge. And I was like, in that moment, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go get a stick and celebrate this shit, and then just start getting addicted to fucking nicotine. Yeah, let's get my body addicted to nicotine.
Oh no.
So I did that, and then I went through like 3 or 4, maybe 5 little carts, and then just was like, all right, no more.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna continue to do this.
That's smart. Yeah, I should have stopped a long time ago. I did for a sec, and I was really good. I had stopped for a good couple years, but yeah.
And then you just like, oh, fuck it. Something comes up. It's like, oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that's all
let's
it is.
get
It's such an
one.
innocent thought.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And
oh, that'll be fun to do.
fuck it, why not? Whatever. And then next thing you know, you gotta keep going to buy more because it keeps dying.
Yeah, next thing you know, your body's dependent on one of the most addictive drugs on earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Wake up. Oh, that sucks. That is hard. If like I'm trying to get off of it, waking up and not hitting it first thing in the morning, that's the worst.
Oh, fuck.
That's
Where
the
you're
fucking worst. Yes, because the morning buzz, I don't even really get buzzed in the morning no more, but I still look forward to the morning buzz. So when I don't have it in the morning, that's the hardest to get through. Because I just smoke and that's chill for a little bit, but then I start coming down and I get tired and then I can smoke more, but like I'd be smoking all day and just get tired all day. I'm addicted as fuck.
Something that's very interesting about nicotine that's just finding out is the cognitive benefits it has.
Oh.
Something in mind and the brain it actually restores, and there's more longevity. They're finding more longevity with people that are addicted to cigarettes or that smoked, or like always had nicotine going into their body. They're finding that they're way less getting dementia, getting Alzheimer's, and they're finding now that nicotine with people with CTE from brain trauma, constant impact to the head, fighters, boxers, football players, they're finding that nicotine patches and putting nicotine in their body is helping their CTE in their brain. And
That's crazy.
Yeah, and helping even the longevity.
That kind of makes sense because for things like the brain, for me, I felt there was one time I was really, really stressed, really upset. I went and hit my nicotine, and then I was with my sister, and I was immediately calmer after that. And I was like, see, look, it fucking helps me, but it's horrible and I hate this.
Oh no.
And so I'm sure there's something, it relieves something, some pressure, some stress, something attacks some chemical that, I don't know, creates trauma physically and mentally. That's kind of nutty.
Yeah, and like fighters are starting to wear nicotine patches.
That's so
They're
weird.
going around with nicotine patches to like, kind of help their fucking brain and mind and shit.
What the hell? That's weird.
Yeah, so everything is positive and negative. Usually, maybe some things are more negative than positive. But I mean, fuck, even heroin and morphine. I was fucking, I threw my shoulder out and it was in a lot of pain and they fucking pumped me with morphine and the pain was gone.
Yeah.
In that instance, and morphine is heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get shit twisted. That's fucking heroin.
Yeah. Same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helped me.
Yeah.
With the pain in the moment.
Oh, what's that shit? Wait. When you're giving birth, the epidural.
Yeah.
What is that shit?
I don't know.
It's like a big ass needle, fucking huge, and it goes into your back. And one of my coworkers, who's a mom and has had many kids, said that her first 2 pregnancies were like horrible, or the births, but she got the epidural. But the 3rd time, it was a breeze. And
no epidural?
She was told that they put the epidural in wrong before, which is literally malpractice. But so the 2 times before, they had put the epidural in wrong, and so she felt none of it. But then the 3rd time they put it in right, and she said it was the easiest thing like ever. She was like, "What? That's it?" She couldn't believe it. All because of a giant dick size needle.
Yeah.
A bit too dick size.
Oh my god.
It's ridiculous.
Just put it in their fucking back.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Just the visual of that is so fucking gnarly.
Don't you love that?
Ugh.
Does amazing things. And like women used to die giving birth because of body shock and trauma, and then just bleeding out, and they weren't sterile. But yeah, we've come a long way just by mixing drugs and chemicals.
Yeah, it's wild. But if you got the epidural, if it somehow became a street drug and people were cooking it on spoons and shit, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess my point is everything, just yin and yang.
Yeah.
Everything is a balance of positive and
balance.
negative. All of the fucking majorly terrible things that happened to me, positive things came from.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Oh, that's nice.
You don't feel that way?
I guess I'm still waiting for mine. I guess I'm still out here waiting.
Really? For the positive side to come in?
Some good shit. Lots of good shit. But I don't know. It's really felt like down, up, down,
Down more, up a little bit, down.
Up, down.
Damn, aren't you on pills for that?
Yeah.
Wait, don't you take pills for that?
And weed.
Yeah, and all the other stuff.
Medicate, self-medicate. Oh.
Yeah.
Life is just bad to me. It's rude to me.
Going back to the environment versus nature thing. You heard about the rat experiment?
Maybe.
So they put a rat in a tank by itself, and they put water in one thing and like liquid cocaine in the other thing, or liquid heroin, and the food, and then basically it has full access to liquid heroin or liquid cocaine to get itself addicted to it or whatever. And they feel it like we do because they're, for some reason, their makeup and their brain is like
their brains are like 93% the same as our DNA or something like that.
Yeah, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it makes no sense.
It's ridiculous.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, someone needs to look into that.
It's literally like this big. Yeah, someone look into it.
Yeah. But the rat or whatever would get addicted to the drug. Most of them would get addicted to the drug. And then they did the same experiment. They took the tank and made it a lot bigger, added toys, and added more rats for like a little rat community.
Friends.
Set the water up, set the heroin up, and the food. Something like it drastically reduced the amount of rats that decided to get addicted to the drug.
Damn, less druggies.
Drastically. Because the rat was in this sorry, kind of sad environment by itself in this tank. And it would do this fucking drug till it died.
Yeah.
And then you take it and you give it a community and give it toys, more space.
Someone to talk to.
You have little rats that kind of just, run around so they could run around with each other and have fun. Yeah. And drastically reduce the addiction.
That's crazy. That makes sense. There's a species of monkeys that it's like a hierarchy. So there's one at the top, monkey king, whatever. And then they choose, I guess, the runt of the group. And these monkeys, they'll bully and they'll keep food from the runt. They'll neglect him and shut him out. And then he eventually dies. He literally dies because he's depressed as fuck.
Just so neglected.
And fucking dies.
Kind of abused and neglected. That's what a guy told me.
Shunned from the community.
Yeah, a guy told me that homelessness. I asked him because he did a lot of community work with like homeless people.
Yeah.
And I asked him, what do you think is the thing that leads them to this place? And he said, almost always neglect, abuse as a child.
Yeah.
Either or, neglect as a child or abuse as a child, or both, lead these people to this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then I watched this YouTube channel, Soft White Underbelly. Have you heard of it?
No.
This guy interviews pimps, prostitutes, gangsters.
That's fun.
Murderers, pedophiles, rapists, and just kind of without bias, just like, tell your story.
Yeah. That's sick as fuck. What's it called?
Soft White Underbelly. It's really fucking good.
I'm gonna have to watch that. Yeah.
It's really good. Like some
real shit.
Some real life shit.
Yeah.
And all the prostitutes. He's got a lot of fucking prostitute interviews.
They all have trauma. All those people you just listed. Everyone walks around with trauma, but those are the most in society.
Happens to you as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abuse, neglect, and trauma.
Yep. Almost every fucking interview.
I wouldn't even. Yeah.
Rarely, maybe with some of the strippers that don't fully go into prostitution, they had a father and a mother sometimes. But even then, it's like, but my uncle touched me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's
I was looked at a lot, harassed, whatever.
Molested.
Yeah.
And stuff. A lot of being molested and sex work as a child, being molested as a child.
Well, yeah, it can make you hypersexual or the opposite.
Yeah.
So.
And it allows you to develop the ability to dissociate from your body, which you need that as a prostitute, stripper. You need mind-altering drugs, or you need the ability to kind of sort of leave your body and disassociate on your own. And then you can develop that by being raped and molested.
No, yeah. I tell people ADHD is a superpower, especially when it comes from trauma, because the fact that you have the ability to dissociate whenever you get stressed because you don't want to, like,
you just don't want to feel.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. People have to do drugs for that. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's not great because we obviously had to do that for a reason, but.
It's bad, but I don't know. It's so much of it is just what happens to you as a kid. And he just, in that beginning of that interview, he's just like, okay, so what was your childhood like? Oh, like this or like that, this and this. Did you have both your parents? No, my dad did this, or my mom was an addict, or yes, but my dad molested me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's just like, okay, and then he just brings them through the story. There's no judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so fucking rare that you can get an interviewer that can do that.
Yeah, right.
So, and then he said because of that, the people trust him to just be like, just give
Open.
him the story. Like, this is what happened.
Especially when you ask questions, like uncomfortable questions. But
Yeah.
I've seen people do really impressive interviews with serial killers and rapists and stuff. And they'll just ask. So, you know, personal questions, even like, why did you do, or what were you wanting, what were you looking for, and just things that other people wouldn't normally want to hear. But that's the raw, real
Truth.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 sides to every story.
Yeah.
Theirs, yours, and the truth.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes theirs is the truth. Maybe 2. But
yeah, facts.
But yeah, it's super. It's just sad, honestly, because they're castaways of society, and it's like if you just sit there and fucking talk with them, they were just abused children.
They're real people who missed out on things that others got, which sucks. But yeah, I used to watch a lot of serial killer documentaries because I wanted to go into forensic psychology. So like actually talk to serial killers.
That's hardcore as fuck.
Yeah. So I would research that shit a lot. And like there's a lot of just common things amongst some of them. But a lot of them have the mommy issues. And then a lot of them are like questioning their sexuality. And then pornography addiction, whatnot.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Like
so,
all of them, right?
All of them.
Basically all of them.
Yeah.
That's weird as fuck.
So exactly. It's like a lot of times it's a product of your environment, and it shouldn't even be a surprise when so many people who have went through the same thing come out the same way. I mean, and now they're outcasts. It's unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also go back to environment again. We live in these power grids, artificially lit, disconnected from nature, institutionalized by government programs, given drugs, given artificial food, skies being sprayed by metals. This is really fucking upbeat and happy. Oh my God. Fuck, it's so depressing. Jesus Christ.
That's another thing too. I feel like our food has fucking chemicals in it that change us. They won't tell us everything. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking food diet and a lot of this shit, almost everything, is not even legal in like the UK and other developed countries. It's not even fucking legal.
Half of our shit isn't legal in other countries. It's ridiculous. And our serving sizes alone, like you'll see a small here and then a small in Britain, England, I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
The UK, and there's a huge difference because we're literal fat asses.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. What if these chemicals that they get away with putting in our food slows our metabolism and makes us even fatter?
Why not? I mean, shit. I mean, we're already this far. We are literally being sprayed by metals. That's not even a conspiracy theory anymore. You look up in the fucking sky. Lately more I'm looking up in the sky and there's just fucking grids of trails of like what looks like to be smoke, and then it spreads to the point where it covers the entire sky and blocks the sun.
That's nutty.
And that's happening like every fucking day. And they've admitted at this point that they're dropping metal. They're spraying metals for climate change. Yeah. To reflect, but whether it's absorbing the metals into the soil, absorbing the metals into the soil.
What kind of logic is that?
Yeah. I know.
I'm embarrassed to be an American. I don't even... that's the most embarrassing shit I've ever heard. I mean, wow. Since, like, Joe Biden, that's crazy.
It's tough.
Yeah. What a joke.
So, again, the rat in the single tank. We're lucky enough to have family, and we have, you know, people to connect to, and we have friends. But even then, we spend all of our time in wooden boxes that are artificially lit,
Yeah.
completely out of rhythm with like the rhythms of nature, going to bed when the sun goes down, waking up when the sun comes up. Like all our biorhythms are fucked.
Yeah.
And we live in these unnatural like these grids and stuff, and then problems occur maybe in the mind from that, and then you get pilled.
Yeah.
They just give you pills.
And you're a forever customer.
Yeah. But I don't know, fuck, what's something positive we can end this on? So
we
dark.
haven't joined the war yet.
Oh my god, that's still gonna be negative.
Yeah.
Positive, something positive.
Spring break, man. Next week. That doesn't. Not everyone cares about that.
Yeah, true. I guess just kids.
College students.
What the fuck? That's so bad.
That's bad.
I can't come up with one positive thing happening in the world. Wow.
Oh, Rihanna is having a baby.
There you go.
I think we've already talked about that.
That's
but
the best we could do. Rihanna's pregnant. There you go.
With ASAP's baby. That'd be cute child.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, maybe next time we'll have something positive for you.
Try again next time.
Yeah, Rihanna's pregnant.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy news.
Yeah. Oh, thank you guys.
Sorry for the depression.